Good morning children, Sai Ram. My name is Ajay Maheshwari. I am your economics teacher and I again welcome you all to the online classes of economics. Dear children, today I am going to start again the third chapter, that is national income and related aggregates. I am going to cover up the further topics what we have left in the previous video. In the previous video we have successfully learned the concept of national income. What is national income? Thereafter we have learned the four factors of production, and what are that four factors of production? That are land, labor, capital, entrepreneur, and further we have learned the factors income. I have already explained you that household are the owners of the factors of the production, and they are giving their factor services to the firm, and on behalf of their factor services firm is making them factor payment. So when we talk about as per the firm's point of view, then all these factors income, the compensation of employees, rent, interest and profit, these are known as the factors payment. But when we see on behalf of household, these are known as the factors income. Thereafter we have learned the normal residents of a country. Who is the normal resident of a country, who is considered as the non-residents of a country. Thereafter the domestic territory of a country, and the domestic income as well as the national income. So I again going to start with the second topic of this chapter, that is domestic and national concept of income. So dear children, when we are talking about the economy at a macro level, the concept of income is used for both as a domestic concept and a national concept. When we use this word income as a domestic concept, then it is known as domestic income, and when we use this word income at a national concept, then it is called a national income. And one thing I want to clear here, both the domestic income as well as the national income includes the four basic elements of factors income. What are the factors income? These are the compensation of employees, the wages and the salary the household are getting, these are known as the compensation of salaries, rent, interest, profit. But there is a little difference in it. Let's see the definition of the domestic income. Domestic income is the sum total of factors income, that is compensation of employees, rent, interest and profit, which is generated within the domestic territory of a country. No matters who generates it. They can be the normal resident as well as the non-resident of a country. So dear children, when we are talking about the domestic income is basically the sum total of factors income. What are the factors income? That are compensation of employees, rent, interest and profit. When this factors income is generated within the domestic territory of a country by the resident as well as the non-resident of a country, then it is known as domestic income. And dear children, domestic income is denoted by NDPFC, net domestic product at factor cost. Now let us learn the definition of national income. And when we are talking about the definition of national income is again the sum total of factors income, that is compensation of employees, rent, interest and profit, which is earned by only the normal residents of a country, no matters where it is generated. It is generated within the domestic territory or it is generated whether outside the domestic country, then it is obviously included in estimating the national income. Now the major difference I can explain you here. In domestic income we will include the factor income which is generated by the normal residents of a country as well as the non-resident of a country. But when we are talking about the national income, we will learn that in national income we will include only the factors income generated by only the normal residents of a country. The peoples who are of our country, no matters whether they are living in our country or they are living abroad, whatever the incomes they are generating is calculated in estimating the national income of a country. I think it is clear with that. Here I have one thing I want to clear here again. The national income is denoted by NNPFC. What is NNPFC? NNPFC is the net national product at factor cost. This is the aggregate which explains the national income. Now you guys is noted many time here I have repeated word domestic territory of a country. Now what is the domestic territory, dear children? Domestic territory, you can say in the common language we can say that the domestic territory of a country is understood as the political boundary, the political territory of a nation. But here in economics, this domestic territory refers to the economic territory, which is obviously considered as the much wider concept than the political economy. So according to the United Nations, there is a definition which is given by the United Nations. An economic territory, as I just said in economics, a domestic territory means the economic territory of a country. Now what is economic territory? Economic territory is the geographical territory administered by the government within which persons, the government as well as the capital can circulate freely. I have already explained you the political boundaries, what are from east to west, north to south, whatever the places the boundaries of our country is situated, it is known as the domestic territory, the political territory of a country. But in economics we means the domestic territory refers to the geographic as well as the economic territory within which a person or goods or a capital can circulate freely. We can easily move from one place to another place without any foundation. We can also send the goods from one places to another places and can invest somewhere. We can get any payment or any receipt from anybody which is in our own country. So this is the domestic territory what I am talking about. Now one question I want to ask you, can we avail this kind of free circulation of a person or a good or a capital to any foreign countries or any foreign embassies which is situated in our country? Obviously your answer is no, because any foreign embassies, any consulate, any things, the embassies which is located in our country of any foreign which is located in our country of any foreign country is the domestic territory of that foreign country. It is not the domestic territory of our country. That is why we cannot avail the free circulation of these things in foreign embassies or in foreign countries. But if there is any if there is any Indian embassies which is situated outside the country, I mean if there is an Indian embassy in United Nations, in Canada or Japan or anywhere around the world, then we can avail such kind of free circulation of a person, the goods or things, because that because that Indian embassy which is situated in any foreign country is a part of domestic territory, is a part of economic territory of our own country. That is why we can avail such free circulation there. Now economic territory, as I just have explained you, is a geographical territory administered by the government within which a person, a goods and a capital can circulate freely. This definition is basically based on the criteria of the freedom of circulation of person, goods and capital. Those parts of a political frontier or the boundary of a country where the government does not enjoy the administration rights is not included in economic territory of a country. Obviously you all must be knowing, if there is any foreign countries, then like we cannot enjoy the such freedom of moving one place to another place, because if we want to move to any foreign countries we need a visa. So we need certain legal documents to be entered in that foreign countries. So that is majorly the restriction I am talking here about. Now let's talk about, let's take one more example. Here you just see the slide. Suppose all the foreign embassies in India, I mean all the foreign embassies, the embassies of US, UK, Canada, Japan, whatever, of any foreign countries is there in our country, India. Any consulates or any military establishment of foreign country, or any international organizations like UNO, WHO, etc., which be the part of any will be the part of their respective countries' economic territory. Now I think it is clear, whatever the foreign embassies is there in our country will be the part of the domestic territory of that particular country. It is not, it does not belongs to our own economic territory of India. Similarly, dear children, yes, all you can say that any ships or aircraft, any fishing vessels, oil and natural gas located within the geographical boundaries of a country will not be included in the domestic territory of India, obviously, because they are belonging to that foreign countries. Let's take one more example. Suppose if there is any airplane which takes a flight, if there is any Indian airplane which takes a flight from Russia to Japan, any Indian plane, the Indian Airlines, if it is taking you can say a flight from Russia to Japan and coming back from Japan to Russia, then whatever the factors income they have earned, it has earned, is included in the domestic territory of our country, I mean of India, because that plane, that airplane is the property of our country. You can see it is belongs to our own country. That is why any factors income is it is generating from any foreign country is included in our India's economic territory. Same how if there is any Singapore Airlines, if it's taking any you can say flight from Canada to Russia or from any foreign countries, now whatever the factors income that Singapore airline is generating is calculated in estimating is included in the economic territory of Singapore itself, that Singapore country itself. It does not belongs to our own country. That is why it is not included in our country's economic territory. So here I have already written. Similarly, the Indian embassies, the consulates and military establishments in any other foreign countries will be the part of our country's economic territory. Now I hope this will be well clear to you. Now we are going into the next part, that is GDP. So dear children, one thing before to move ahead, I want to explain you that there is no difference between the concept of domestic income as well as the domestic product. In fact, the both terms are identical to each other, because all production is ultimately converted into the factors income, isn't it? If I'm talking about the domestic product, then I again want to clear here that I'm talking here about the domestic income. You all must be knowing there are certain rounds. You can say in the first round the firm produce the goods and services by hiring or by purchasing the factors of production from the household, which is known as the owners of the factors of production. And in the second round the firm distribute their revenues which is generated from the sale of final goods amongst from the sale of final goods. So whatever the revenues they have generated is distributing among the owners of the factors of the production, which is known as household. And once the household gets their payment, they will get the payment in the form of either the compensation of employees, or in the form of rent, or in the form of interest, or in the form of profit. So the domestic income basically is the sum total of the factors income, or which is obviously equal to the domestic product. So we can say that domestic product is obviously equal to domestic income. Now domestic income, or you can say the domestic product, is measured as gross domestic product as well as the net domestic product. Here there are some of the concepts in national income. The first is the gross domestic product, second is the net domestic product, third is the gross national product, and fourth is net national product. So when I am talking here about the gross domestic product and net domestic product, in both this there is only one difference which is explaining which differentiate both the aggregates. Depreciation, or you can say that the consumption of the fixed capital causes a difference between the two GDPs, the two aggregates like GDP and net GDP. Now what is gross domestic product? Gross domestic product is the money value of all the final goods and services produced within the domestic territory of a country during the period of 1 year. GDP equals to price multiplied with the quantity. The price of the various goods and services is multiplying with the quantity of various goods and services, and we will get the value of GDP. And GDP obviously includes the goods and services, the consumption expenditure of households, thereafter the government expenditure, and third is the private domestic investment in capital goods, gross domestic capital formation. This is the second name of this one, and fourth is the net export, or you can say export and import. Now what is NDP? NDPFC is also called the domestic income, factors income. NDP, net domestic product at factor cost, basically is defined at the net value added by the all producers within the domestic territory of a country. Here is the gross domestic product, GDP, is equals to NDPFC plus depreciation. Now what I am going to explain here is there is only a difference of depreciation between the gross domestic product and net domestic product. If we calculating the net domestic product, then we have to subtract the depreciation from the gross domestic product, and when we are going to find out the gross domestic product, then we will add NDP, net domestic product plus depreciation, which is obviously equal to GDP. Here is the gross national product. It is the total market value of all the final goods and services produced annually in a country plus the net factors income from abroad. This is obviously the national concept. That is why we are adding here the net factors income from abroad. What is net factors income from abroad? It is basically an income which is earned from the normal residents of a country from the outside the world. Now here, as I have just explained you, accordingly there are four basic concepts of national income. GDP, what is GDP? It is the money value of all the final goods and services produced within the domestic territory of a country during an accounting year. It is GDP is P into Q. This I have already explained you. Now let us see in quite way. Net domestic product is when depreciation is subtracted from GDP, we get the value of net domestic product. As I just said, when NDP we are going to find out, we have to subtract the depreciation from the GDP. Gross national product, it is defined as the market value of all the final goods and services produced within the domestic territory of a country during an accounting year. Now this definition is same as with the GDP, but the only thing is it is included here the net factor income from abroad. So gross national product is GDP plus NFIA, and what is NFIA? It is the net factors income from abroad. What is NNP? NNP is the total value of all the final goods and services produced within the domestic territory of a country during a period of an accounting year after allowing the depreciation on capital goods. Now NNPFC, it is derived by subtracting depreciation from GNP. Now this is the fourth basic unit of the concept of GDP basically. When I'm talking here about the NNPFC, then we have to subtract the depreciation from GNP itself. We get the value of NNP, I mean net national product. Children, I want to explain you in very simple language that when we are going to reach from gross to net or from net to gross, the only difference is the depreciation. I mean when gross minus DAP, it becomes equal to net, and when net plus DAP, it becomes equal to GDP. It becomes equal to gross. Now let's talk here about the the domestic product and market price and factor cost. This is obviously the fourth, the main, you can say, the topic of this chapter. Dear children, there is no difference between the you can say the domestic product and market price and domestic product and factors cost. So long as we are considering the two sectors economy, including the producers as well as an household sector, and there is no government sectors in the economy. I'm going to say here, when I'm talking here about the domestic product and market price and well as the domestic product and factor cost, then both these aggregates are equal to each other when we considering here about for two sectors economy. I mean we are including here only the producer as well as household, and we are not including here the government sectors in the economy, which implies is that there are no taxes and subsidies related to the production of various goods and services. Now GDP, you can say domestic product, you can say that domestic product, no matter whether it is gross or not, gross or net at market price, when is minus the net indirect taxes, then we will get the value of domestic product at factors cost. From gross to net, as I just said you, we have to subtract depreciation. When we are going from gross to net, we will subtract depreciation, and when we are going from net to gross, we will add depreciation. Similarly, when we are going to reach from market price to factor cost, then we will subtract the net indirect taxes, because market price is greater than the factors cost. You all must be aware in this, because market price is greater than the factor cost, which is known as the cost of production. So when market price is the greater one and we are going to reach the smaller one, then we have to subtract the net indirect taxes, I mean NIT in short. We have to subtract net indirect taxes from the market value so that we can reach to the factor cost. Similarly, if we want to reach from factor cost to market price, then we have to add the net indirect tax. It is already explaining you at the downside of the slide also with the notes you are watching here, dear children. Domestic product, see it very down, domestic product gross or net at factor cost is equals to domestic product, I mean gross or either net at market price minus net indirect taxes. And when a national product gross or net at factor cost minus when we have to find out the national product, that is gross or net at factor cost, it always equal to the national product, that is gross or net at market price minus net indirect tax. Here net indirect tax is equal to indirect tax minus subsidies. So I hope it is clear to you. It is not a big deal with this concept. The thing what you have to understood here is, when we are going to reach from gross to net, we have to subtract depreciation, or when we reach from net to gross, we will add depreciation to net. Similarly, when we are going to reach from national to domestic concept, we have to subtract NFIA from the national income. I mean, national minus NFIA is equal to domestic, and domestic plus NFIA is equal to national. Third rule, when from market price to factor cost, when we subtract net indirect tax, I mean NIT, from the market price, we will reach to factor cost, and when we add NIT to factor cost, we will get the value of market price. This I am going to explain you later on in the next slide. You guys will be understood the various conversion of gross to net, domestic to national, and market price to factor cost. We will see the numerical examples also there. Now this dear children, these are the few aggregates which is related to the national income. There are various aggregates of national income. Each aggregate has a specific you can say meaning, and you can say method of measurement and use. Accordingly, various aggregates are classified into the two concepts. I want to explain you here. There are 8 types of aggregates which I am going to classify into 2 broad categories. The first category is yours domestic concept, and second category is yours national concept, which obviously containing 4 aggregates. Now when I am talking here the domestic concept, dear children, these are the 4 aggregates which has been included or which has been you can say covering with this domestic concept. First is the gross domestic product at market price. We call it GDP-MP. Understood? With this word gross domestic product at market price, I am obviously taking the first alphabet of this words. I am taking G from gross, D from domestic, P from product, M from market, P from price. Then it is called as GDP-MP. Similarly, second is net domestic product at market price. We call it NDP-MP. Beta, this is the way we are going to read up the various aggregates. We will read here the same way it is mentioning here. Net domestic product at market price. We will take the first alphabet of this words. N from net, D from domestic, P for product, M from market, and P for price. Then this is known as GDP-MP. Similarly, with the same way, gross domestic product at factor cost, we call it GDP-FC. Net domestic product at factor cost, we call it NDP-FC. Now, dear children, there is basically as an arrow which explain you basically this with this conversion. GDP-MP, it is written on the top at the middle of this various arrows. When I am subtracting the net indirect tax from GDP-MP, we will get the value of GDP-FC. Beta, from this conversion from GDP-MP to GDP-FC, on the right side you are watching here, beta, just see the first conversion. G to G, no change. D to D, there is no change. P to P, there is again no change. and from market price to factor cost we want to reach. I have just explained you, if we want to subtract the net indirect tax from the market price, then we will get the value of factor cost. Similarly, from GDPFC, I mean from beta, the first obviously understood, all these aggregates are covering up at 4 places basically. What are that 4 places? I want to clear up here again. Let's see this slide here, dear children. With this slide you are watching the steps of converging one aggregate into the another aggregate. I have written here the entire aggregate is placed under the 4 places. These are the 4 places. At first place, always understood it obviously, or it always comes either the gross or the net at the first place. On second place, it always comes either domestic or it comes national, and third place is always remains same for all the aggregates, it is product, and at fourth place it either comes the factors in factor cost or the market price. At downside you are watching here from gross to net or from net to gross. How we are converting from gross to net or net to gross? Suppose there is a mobile I have purchased, that is Samsung J7. So when I have purchased, the gross value or the actual or the purchasing value, here I am writing wrong, it is not actual value, it is misprinted, it is the purchasing value, children. You just rectify in your own notes. It is the gross value, I mean the purchasing value of this Samsung mobile J7 is 10,000. So if you want to ask me after 1 or 2 months or any 1 or 2 years afterwards also, I will say that I have purchased this this mobile by paying 10,000 rupees. So dear children, 10,000 rupees is the purchasing value, this is the gross value of this mobile. And after 2 years, when I am going to sell the mobile into the market, then definitely I will not get the same amount what I have paid when I have buy this mobile. The shopkeeper will give me some less amount of this gross value. Whether with this 10,000, I have just taken a roughly example. Out of this 10,000 purchasing value, shopkeeper is ready to pay me 8,000 rupees when I am going to sell that mobile to him. So this 8,000 rupees is known as the net value, I mean this is known as the actual value. So now just take gross is here the 10,000 rupees and net is the 8,000. From when I am going to gross to net, you see from when I am going from 10,000 to 8,000, I have to subtract 2,000 rupees. There is this 2,000 rupees is what? This is the value of depreciation. Depreciation is what? It is basically considered as the decrease or a fall in the value of final capital goods. So from gross to net, when I want to reach from gross to net, I have to subtract the depreciation, and when I have to go from net to gross, I have to add depreciation. This you just see here on the left hand side, the first classification. From gross to net I have to subtract depreciation, and from net to gross I have to add depreciation. Gross minus dep equals to net, or net plus dep is equals to gross. Now children, depreciation is also known as consumption of fixed capital, current replacement cost of fixed capital. These are the various names which is basically used in place of depreciation, and 99% dear children in the numerical questions of national income in the board examination, you will definitely get the value of depreciation by the name of consumption of fixed capital. So don't get confused, the consumption of fixed capital itself is the value of the depreciation. Now at the second point, second place, I have just said there might be the two values which comes, either it comes domestic or it comes national. Now see the second conversion from domestic to national and national to domestic. Suppose there is Mr. X. Suppose there is a person, Mr. X, he is living in a country for 8 months and is generating an income here for 8 months, and for the next 4 months he is basically living in any foreign countries. Like 8 months is living in India and rest of 4 months is living in USA. Now when he lives in India for 8 months, he is earning, let's say the roughly example, is earning a salary of 100 rupees. The income of 8 months is 100 rupees of Mr. X when he is living in a country, or when he is living in the domestic territory of a country. And when he is living for 4 months in any foreign countries like in USA, then he has earned 20 rupees. From the USA, or you can say from the any foreign territory or from any foreign countries outside the India. So 100 rupees is your domestic income, whereas 120 is your national income. How it becomes a national income? Because 100 rupees he has generated from the domestic territory of a country, I mean from India, and rest 20 rupees he has earned from any foreign countries. Then it becomes the national income of 120 rupees. As I just said, if any person is living from any foreign countries and he is the normal resident of a country, whatever the income he is generating from that foreign countries is included in estimating the national income of a country. That is why I have added this 20 rupees to 100 and it becomes a national income of 120 rupees. Now dear children, as I just going to explain you in very short, when I am going to go from domestic to national, I have to add NFIA. You just seeing here, from 100 to 120 I am adding here 20 rupees, which is the value of NFIA, I mean net factors income from abroad. And when I have to reach from national to domestic, I am subtracting here 20 rupees, which is the value of NFIA. So while going from domestic to national, I have to add the value of NFIA, and when I am going from national to domestic, I have to subtract the value of NFIA. So this is the conversion of the two values. Now let's see the third places. As I just said, it always the product which is repeated in every of aggregates, then there is no conversion from product to product. But at fourth places there might be the factors cost, or there might be the market price. Now let's see the conversion between the the factor cost to market price and market price to factor cost. Suppose there is, suppose I am a producer and I have my own producing cells and I am producing Good Day biscuits in my own firm. The cost of producing the Good Day biscuits is 8 rupees for a small packet, which has been sale of rupees 10 in the market. So the cost of that particular small, you can say the packet is 8 rupees. This is basically known as the cost of production, or which we can say as the factors cost also. And you all must be knowing, when a good is produced in a firm or in a factory, then there are the certain taxes which the firm has to pay. Similarly, the firm has to pay the sale tax, the GST, whatever, in the form of indirect tax. Now the firm has to pay 2 rupees in the form of tax. Now the market price of this Good Day biscuits become rupees 10. So the difference between the factors cost and market price is rupees 2, which is known as the value of indirect tax. So with this slide you're watching, dear children, from factor cost to indirect tax, if you want to reach, I mean from 8 to 10 rupees if you want to reach, then I have to add 2 rupees, which is the value of indirect tax. And when I want to reach from market price to factor cost, then I have to subtract 2 rupees from the market price, so that I can reach the I can reach the factor cost. So at the down you are just watching here, factor cost to market price, I have to add net indirect tax. I mean, in short we can write it NIT. And when I want to reach from market price to factor cost, then I have to subtract the value of NIT. Children, one thing I want to explain you here, the basic formulas. Net indirect tax, as the value, as the word clarifies here, the net means there is something which is subtracted from the gross value. So dear children, indirect tax is considered as the gross value, whereas gross value of tax, you all must be knowing that if there are any goods and services which are being produced by the producers, then there might be certain subsidies, the certain relaxation which is given by the government to the producers in the form of financial help. Similarly, here the producer are getting subsidies to produce any useful or any essential product for the welfare of the people. So whatever the subsidies the producer is getting from the government, then that subsidies has to be subtracted from the indirect tax. That is why it becomes the net indirect tax. That is why it becomes the net indirect tax. So the formula to find out the net indirect tax is net indirect tax is equals to indirect tax minus subsidies. Similarly, when I am talking here about the NFIA, I mean net factor income from abroad. Now here the word starts with net. As I just suggest you, when the word starts with net, then there must be something which is being subtracted from the gross value, then only it becomes the value of net. So the formula to find out NFIA is factors income received from abroad minus factors income paid to abroad. Dear children, this is the common understanding. You all know, if there is any person, if there is any of your family members, any of your relative, those who are working any foreign countries, then they are obviously known as the normal residents of a country. I mean, they are the resident, they are the citizen of a country, no matters they are living outside, but whatever the incomes they have generated it is included in the national income. Similarly, same way, there are again the foreigners who are living in a country, and while giving their services here in a country, they are generating the income, and whatever the income they are generating is included in the national income of their own country. That is why when we are calculating here the NFIA value, it is obviously the formula that factors income earned by the normal resident of a country minus factors income paid to the foreigners, to the non-residents of a country. I mean, on the very top of this slide you are watching the formula of net indirect tax. I mean, in short we can call it NIT. It is equals to indirect tax minus subsidies, whereas net factor income from abroad, we call it NFIA in short, is always equals to factors income received from abroad minus factors income paid to abroad. Because there are many, because as we Indians are living abroad and generating the income, similarly in our country, in India, there are many foreigners also who are living in our country, and while living in our country they are generating various incomes, and their incomes what they have generated is included in their own country's national income. So you can say that this you will understood the factors income received from abroad, like we Indians, whatever the factors income we have earned, from this value we are subtracting the factors income which is paid to abroad. I mean the foreigners who are getting their salaries, we have to subtract that value, and thereafter we will get the value of NFIA. So here beta with this slide there are many this is the full explanation of converting one aggregate into another aggregate. Suppose I am taking a rough example, dear children. I have to convert GDP MP to NDP FC. What is GDP MP? You can take the full form also. GDP MP means gross domestic product at market price, and NDP FC is net domestic product at factor cost. Beta, I have already explained you domestic income is generated by NDPFC. NDPFC is known as domestic income, whereas NNPFC is known as national income. With both the aggregates there is a difference of D and N. If there is D in NDPFC, then it is a domestic income, but when it is NNPFC, then N is repeating with NDPFC, then if it is N there, then it is known as the national income. So here I have to go from GDP MP to NDP FC. Dear children, you just see here at first place I have explained you it is G. G refers here gross, and NDPFC the first word the first alphabet is N. From gross to net, if you want to reach, we have to subtract the depreciation. Now it is clear to you, from gross to net we are subtracting the depreciation. At second place I have already suggested you there might be either the domestic or the national. Here with this aggregate we have domestic, and on another aggregate it is again domestic. So if it is domestic to domestic we want to change, then there is no change, nothing should be added or subtracted. But at third place it is obviously the product which is rebated. Now at fourth place, or you can say at fourth places, it has market price and factor cost. I mean MP is for market price, FC is for factor cost. From market price to factor cost, if we want to reach, we have to subtract the value of net indirect tax. Similarly, if what is the value we can find out, NDPFC is GDP MP minus depreciation and minus net indirect tax. So basically this is the major explanation of converting one aggregate into another aggregate. So dear children, let's move back with the same concept what we are covering here. So this gross conversion is clear to you. These are the four aggregates I have just explained you. In national income there are again four concepts. Now with this slide I again connected you with the four basic aggregates. For domestic we have learned, now for national we are learning here. Same for national also we have four aggregates. The first is gross national product at market price. Now dear children, the major difference here is for the domestic and national, all the values are same, but the major differentiation is the domestic and national. In the previous four aggregates, the four domestic concepts, in every aggregates domestic is repeating, but here in this four aggregates all the times the national is repeating. You just see the slide also. The first is gross national product at market price, net national product at market price, gross national product at factor cost, net national product at factor cost. Now there is again the classification from GNP-MP to GNP-FC. If we want to go, then we have to subtract the net indirect tax, because the first three GNP and GNP is same, but the conversion is related with MP to FC. So from market price to factor cost we have to subtract the NIT, that is net indirect tax. Similarly from GNP-FC to NNP-FC, Now the first alphabet change from gross to net, this is the only changes, but the rest NPFC and NPFC is same. So from GNPFC to NNPFC, if we want to reach, then we have to subtract the value of depreciation, because I have already explained you at first place there is gross or net. From gross to net, if you want to reach, then we have to subtract the depreciation, and from national to national there is no change, and from product to product there is again no change, and from factor cost to factor cost there is again no change. Similarly, from NNPFC to NNPMP, now here the first three alphabets are same. The only changes is from factor cost to market price. I mean, from factor cost to market price we want to reach, then we have to edit the value of NIT. Similarly, from NNPMP to GNPMP, we have to there is only changes in first alphabet. From N to G we want to reach, and rest other all the value of all the places are same. So from net to gross, if we want to reach, we have to add the depreciation. So this is the basically the way by which we can convert one aggregate into another aggregate, dear children. So this is the classification I have just explained you. This is I already explained you. You just see by yourself, dear children. Now aggregates related to the national income. Now just see the slide, dear children. Here there are some of the aggregates which is related to the national income. These are basically the various aggregates which I have just explained you. As I just said, there are 4 aggregates in domestic as well as in national. So as I just explained you, there are 4 aggregates in domestic and 4 aggregates in national. So when I am going to talking here about, let us talk one by one with the definition so that it is well clear to you. Now with this slide, dear child, you just see the first classification, that is gross domestic product and market price. In short, we can call it GDPMP. What is gross domestic product and market price, dear children? Gross domestic product and market price is the market value of all the final goods and services produced within the domestic territory of a country during the period of 1 year. Now up to this up to the period of an accounting year, this is basically the definition of GDP. But when I added the depreciation also, it is the basically the value of GDPFC, and when I added here the value of depreciation, it becomes the value of GDPMP. Because from GDPMP to GDPFC, the major difference is on the 4th places, that is MP to FC. So dear children, when we are talking here for the gross domestic product and market price, then it definitely contains the value of depreciation. It is it is always the inclusive of depreciation also. So what is GDPMP? It is the final value. It is the market value of all the final goods and services produced within the domestic territory of a country during the period of an accounting year, inclusive of depreciation. Now the next aggregate is net domestic product and market price. In short we can call it NDPMP. So as the name suggests, Bitan, there is only the difference between difference of these 2 aggregates at the first place. I mean GDPMP and NDPMP. At first place there is a difference, but the rest of 4 places we have the same values, the same alphabets. So what is net domestic product and market price, or NDPMP, dear children? NDPMP is the market value of all the final goods and services produced within the domestic territory of a country during the period of an accounting year, exclusive of depreciation. I mean the depreciation is subtracted from the value of GDPMP, and we will definitely get the value of NDPMP. So here children, you just see here with this conversion from gross GDP-MP to, if you want to find out the GDP-MP, it always equal to NDP-MP plus depreciation, whereas NDP-MP is always equal to GDP-MP minus depreciation. This is the way how we can convert one aggregate into another aggregate. Now let's move to the next definition, which is the third one, gross national product at market price, GNP-MP. Now just see the first and the third definition. The first definition belongs to GDP-MP, whereas the third depreciation belongs to GNP-MP. So what is GNP-MP? GNP-MP at market price is the sum total of gross domestic product at market price and net factor income from abroad. So no, not a big thing to confuse here, dear children. GDP-MP to NNP-MP. Just see yourself what is the basic changes with this aggregate. Beta, the first point, at first place we have G to G. I mean gross to gross there is no changes. D to N. Now here at second place the values are changing. I mean on behalf the domestic is converting into the national, whereas product and product remains same, and market price is again remains same. So what is GNP-MP? Gross national product and market price. So dear children, gross national product and market price is the sum total of gross domestic product and market price and net factor income from abroad. Obviously when we want to go from domestic to national, then we have to add NFIA. Similarly, when we have to reach GNP-MP, we have to add NFIA to GDP and we will get the value of GNP-MP. Similarly, for net national product and market price, net national product and market price, the fourth one, net national product and market price is the sum total of net domestic product and market price and net factor income from abroad, or NNP-MP is equal to NDP-MP plus NFIA. From second to fourth, beta, you just see the major conversion is domestic to national. I mean from this aggregate, if we want to reach to NNP-MP, then we have to add it NFIA, because the major changes which take place here is at the second place. You just see NN, there is no change from domestic to national. Obviously we know if we want to reach from domestic to national, then we have to add NFIA. So that is why NDP-MP plus the NFIA, and it becomes equal to NNP-MP. Now let's move ahead with the next aggregates, dear children. Here I am talking here the GDP-FC. Now gross domestic product at factor cost. Here we are again going to learn the next aggregates. What is gross domestic product at factor cost? Beta, when we are talking here about the factor cost, we will understood here some of the factor payments which is incurred on the production of various final goods and services within the domestic territory of a country within a period of 1 year. Now what the definition says that gross domestic product at factor cost, I mean gross domestic product at factor cost, what in short we can call it GDP-FC, is the sum total of factor cost incurred on the production of final goods and services within the domestic territory of a country during a period of an accounting year, inclusive of depreciation. I mean depreciation is also included, because GDP-FC to NNP, GDP-FC if we want to reach, then we have to add all the factors income, all the domestic income what are the domestic income, what are the aggregates of domestic income beta? It are domestic income, or you can say the factors income, because I already explained you domestic product is equals to domestic income and domestic income is equal to factors income. So GDPFC is obviously equal to NDPFC and plus depreciation. So NDPFC, I mean the domestic income, what are the you can say the components of domestic income? It is compensation of employees, rent, interest, wages, profit plus depreciation. So the thing is, if we added depreciation to net, we will get the value of gross. So that is why NDPFC plus depreciation, and it becomes the value of GDPFC, which is the value of gross domestic product at factor cost. Now let's see NDPFC, or you can say the net domestic income. So net domestic income at factor cost is the sum total of factor cost incurred on the production of final goods and services within the domestic territory of a country during a period of an accounting year. So NDPFC, or you can say from GDPFC, if we are subtracting the depreciation, then obviously we will get the value of NDPFC. Now for seventh aggregate, we have you can say gross national product at factor cost. So dear children, gross national product at factor cost, it is factor cost is the sum total of gross domestic product at factor cost and net factor income from abroad. I mean, when we are adding GDPFC with NFIA, then we will get the value of GNPMP. I mean, just see the fifth aggregate. Better with the slide, you just see the fifth aggregate on the very top. It is gross domestic product at factor cost. What I have explained you, it is the sum total of the factor cost which is incurred on the production of final goods and services produced within the domestic territory of a country during the period of an accounting year, inclusive of depreciation. That is why it becomes GDPFC. Now from GDPFC, I have to reach to GNPFC. I mean, from D to N. I mean, you all must be knowing, if you want to reach from domestic to national, what we are doing, we are adding the NFIA. Same here, GNPFC is obviously equal to GDPFC plus NFIA. So at last we have net national product at factor cost. We are adding NDPFC with NFIA, and we will get the value of NNPFC. So these are the various aggregates we will learn here today, dear children. So with this topics, we are again finishing up a chapter here. We are finishing up a video here. Up to this video, I mean, today what we have learned the domestic and net concept of national income. Further, we have learned what is domestic income and national income. We have learned what is domestic territory of a country, all the political boundaries as well as the economic territory of a country. This we have learned. After that, we have learned the gross and net concept of domestic product. We have learned the four concepts of domestic product, that is GDP, gross domestic product, NDP, net domestic product, GNP, gross national product, and NNP, that is net national product. Further, we have learned the differences between the domestic product at market price and domestic product at factor cost. And at last, we have learned the various conversion of gross into net, domestic into national, and thereafter market price into factor cost. Further, we have learned all the various aggregates and their definition. What should be added and what should be subtracted, by which we can reach from one aggregate to another aggregate. So dear children, that's all for today's video. In the next video, we guys will learn the last topic of this chapter, that is nominal GDP and real GDP. Here I want to clear here, dear children, nominal GDP is also known as the monetary GDP, and it is also known as the national income at current prices, whereas real GDP is known as the actual GDP, and it is also known as the national income at constant prices. Further, we will learn the various estimation of nominal as well as the real GDP, and we too learn the various formulas of calculating the nominal GDP and real GDP. We do learn what is GDP and welfare, and at very last we will learn the limitations of the basic limitations, I mean the positive as well as the negative aspect of GDP and welfare. So dear children, that's all for today, and in the next video we'll learn with the same things. And I too request you that please read and learn the above topics what we have covered up today. The notes you will definitely get in your WhatsApp group, and I request you to make again a fair notebook and write all the various notes what I have explained you with the slide also, and I will definitely send you separately the notes in the WhatsApp group also. And till then, dear children, stay well and learn all the topics, please. Thank you so much. Sai Ram. Have a nice day. Thank you all.